So typically with a carrier, these are your base 4 talents. This is your first 9 points. More, faster, healthier. This is kind of a core build because having more planes is good, having faster planes is good, having planes that aren't dead is good. When it comes to clan battles, you might want to use aircraft armor. Why? Because if you hit flak, that might critically rip apart your planes, and you don't have the ability to just derp away a bunch of resources. If this reduces the random to help your resources last more consistently over many matches, then this could be worth investing in. If you don't hit flak or you feel, nah, I'm good, then you don't have to take this talent. But if it reduces the random, that can be good for your team, because consistency means wins, consistency means ranking in clan battles and placement and stuff. So clan battles might start before 10.4, but 10.4 is going to be a thing, in which case enhanced reaction is going to have a buffed action time for the consumable as opposed to a reduction that it has now. So that means that the planes are going to last longer. So if you use the planes for spotting, they're going to last longer, which is good. You're going to get more spotting. If you're going to be used defensively, they're going to last longer, which is good. So you're going to use them, you're going to be able to place them, drop it and forget about it so you can go do other shit for a while rather than having to constantly come back and just drop it and re-up it and re-up it and re-up it. Typically for clan battles, my personal belief is that you should use consumable mod to make the fighters last even longer. So with this, once it's buffed and consumable mod, you'll have 112 seconds on your fighter planes, which means that, you know, you're protecting an area for almost 2 minutes, which is pretty good. Absolutely take this for more fighters. Why? Because this gives you more versatility. Now, if you're on something like the FDR, fighters is really not your gig. You run around beating the shit out of stuff, so that might not be a thing for you. But in general, I think that having fighters is extremely powerful, so it's a smart move. And then taking additional patrol radius, I mean, that's just a personal thing that I would like. But you could move this over into last gasp additional engine boost, or maybe just some additional engine boost and patrol range. This is a 21 point build that I can see using in a clan battle, which provides most of everything you're going to want to have. Enhanced duration, plus the fighters are going to be much more useful in protecting people because they're going to latch so much faster that you, regardless of which angle somebody's coming to attack, they're going to deal with the fighters. Fighters will probably get some kills. Having more fighters, having better patrol ranges. So this is pretty basic, this is pretty basic, this is pretty basic. The question comes now, do you want to start sacrificing from this build to start moving points somewhere else? You could, for instance, drop flak and go into bomb timing if you're in the Max Immelmann, because the speed of the bombs is extremely important and you probably don't have to worry about flak. You could take the points from here and move it into some additional fire chance, or maybe if you had the Hakuryu, move it into sight stabilization. Deal with the flak. Or maybe if you're in the Hakuryu, you drop airplane armor and put it at sight stab. Because you don't have a lot of health to begin with, so armoring the health that you really don't have is going to mean less than being able to maybe get that drop that's a little bit better and make the drop more worth it. So you're going to lose the planes, but at least you make it worth it because maybe the reticle firms a little faster and that results in citadels, whereas otherwise it wouldn't. That's a personal thing. You could move this over into enhanced interceptor. What this is going to do is give you additional patrol radius, but it's also going to mean that an enemy CV can't just drop a fighter so that the fighters kill each other and then they come in on you. That just burns your consumables even faster. Interceptor is going to be if you want to play a defensive build, not an offensive build. If you play offensively, this does not spot enemy ships. But if you play it defensively, the enemy CV cannot bait away these interceptors. They will hold a position until they shoot an enemy player's planes. There's ways to deal with it, but that being said, for the majority, if you put this, say, over a destroyer, the enemy CV doesn't have a way in except through the enemy planes. So interceptor is defensive. If you don't want to go defensive, or if you want to have a mix between defensive and offensive capability, you would not pick interceptor. As far as the other talents, heal could be exceptional on the Richthofen if you play it, because you have heals on both the torps and the bombs, so having an additional heal consumable and making it last 10% longer would be pretty badass. As far as fire chance, that's something you'll look at if you're playing the FDR, that's something you'll look at if you're playing maybe the Midway, or potentially the Audacious if you pick that. Boost talents is personal preference, and really there's nothing else that jumps out. Unfortunately, Hidden Menace is bugged. Proximity fuse could be something you want to look at. Maybe if you're playing the Hakuryu, or the Audacious, or the Midway, or the FDR, because this is going to give you additional torp throughput on battleships. Kind of also cruisers, though, because cruisers will have like 10 to 15% anti-torpedo protection, so theoretically that's going to help more of your torpedo damage get through, as opposed to being reduced by the torpedo protection. Really, after that, it's going to come down to personal preference. You know, every team is going to be different. Are you an offensive carrier? Are you a defensive carrier? Are you a variable role carrier? Are you an offside carrier? Are you a contested side carrier, where you're going to be where all the enemy ships are and the shit's the thickest? This is all going to come down to stuff that you're going to have to customize to your play and your team. There is no God build. That being said, I would expect this to be a basic build for clan battle that you could then work to what you ultimately want to have, because more, faster, healthier, more planes is good, faster planes is good, planes that aren't dead is also good. That's more planes, basically. This reduces the randomness of flak, so if you do take flak, you lose a little less health for it, and hopefully less resources overall. This is going to give you fighters that can deal with an FDR, because you might go against an FDR, and if you do, you're going to need planes that are going to be able to do something about it. Your team is not going to be the sole source of AA that's just going to bash the FDR to the side. Get fucked, sir. You as a CV are going to have to also assist, which means you need to put at least some points into fighter talents to make that happen. You certainly need enhanced reactions. I would definitely recommend these. And then lastly, you have a single point, and you can put it in a boost talent of your choice. Maybe last gasp, maybe some additional boost. That's up to you. So you feel like that's a pretty long form answer to clan battle CV captain skills and choices. Hopefully that gave everybody what they needed to know.